A very good evening and a warm welcome to News Live on Channel Live. I'm Vidushni Sadish Kumar.
Hello there, good evening and a warm welcome indeed. I'm in Rajai Surya. We start off with a look at the headlines for tonight. Now for those in more in detail, we start off with a look at local news. President Maithripala Sirisena revealed that new laws are to be enacted, making final his approval compulsory for cutting earth mounds and clearing forest cover. He added that his final contest is must despite any other approvals. The President was speaking at a program organized to announce the National Week of Polythene, Plastic, Electric and Electronic Waste Prevention. This e-waste week has been declared from the 24th to the 30th of October. A website to provide necessary information on this initiative was launched by President Maithripala Sirisena. Polythene recycling equipment were handed over to several urban councils, whilst presenting assessment certificates to a few institutes which have launched environmental friendly projects.
ගීතාංජලි පෙරේරා මහත්මියට ආරාධනා කරනු ලබනවා. ප්‍රජාශාන්ත රණසිංහ මහත්මයාට ආරාධනා කරනු ලබනවා.
Addressing the gathering, the President said that he came to know about the cutting of a huge earth mound in a village at Varakapula in Alawa area a few days ago. Soon after hearing this destruction, he said he called the chairman of the Sri Lanka Environmental Authority and Geological and Mines Bureau. He told them to look into this matter as soon as possible and submit a report to him soon. He also instructed them to find out as to whether a permission was given for the purpose by any institution and on what basis. According to the findings, all those relevant institutions, including the Central Environmental Authority, Geological and Mines Bureau, Archaeology Department, Water Supply and Drainage Board, Divisional Secretariat and the Pradeshya Sabha have given their approval for this purpose. Further, not a single institution is inquired to find out as to whether those people were cutting in the area in which they have received approval or not. After the investigation, the issue of neglecting the responsibility of supervising this activity has cropped up. Under this setup, all the heads of those state institutions should be punished for this hiccup, and the huge earth mound located near the Ambepusa clock tower in Varakapula has suffered this blight following the issuing of licenses to cut 5 earth mounds to a businessman. He said that he has immediately issued a directive to cancel those 5 licenses, but before that the cutting of the earth mounds had been completed. Citing another similar incident, the President said that the permission had been given to clear thousands of acres in Nuwara and Kandy districts recently. Under these circumstances, the President said he will issue a new circular making compulsory to receive his approval to clear forest or to cut earth mounds, even though the prior permission had been given by relevant institutions. The license was given to transport the required quantity of earth to build Kandy-Colombo Highway with effect from January this year. Everyone knows that the construction work of Kandy-Colombo Highway is yet to commence, but the cutting of earth mounds has started about 10 months ago. He asked as to why this destruction has been caused to the area since the month of January without the commencement of the road construction work. He said that this license should be issued when the commencement of the road building process, and therefore it is essential to find out as to whether the massive quantity of earth had been taken by this businessman and who is given such permission. And in the meantime, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe held bilateral talks of mutual interest with Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel in Brussels yesterday evening. The Belgian Premier had pledged to take joint action to further strengthen bilateral relations between Belgium and Sri Lanka. He added that he appreciates democracy and good governance in Sri Lanka based on human rights and social justice. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe outlined the country's socio-economic and political reforms being implemented under the leadership of President Maithripala Sirisena. He added that a comprehensive program is now underway to restore national reconciliation, and the Premier revealed that a separate office for reconciliation was established under the directions of former President Chandrika Bandaranayake Kumartunga. Premier Wickremesinghe said that a technical application assessment is to be conducted to assess Sri Lanka's GSP Plus request by the European Commission. They will especially focus attention on the country's human rights and trading activities. An assessment will also be made on maintaining labour rights and program of environmental conservation before granting the GSP Plus facility. The responsibility of the new government headed by the President is to ensure the proper implementation of those programs, including socio-political and economic reforms, and if we stick to these programs, then we will be able to regain the GSP Plus facility by March or May next year, he said. The apparel exporters have been increased by 87% during the period of 2003 to 2015. However, the apparel exports in Bangladesh have decreased by 406%. If our exports are increased by 300%, then the country will not have to face this heavy debt burden. It is not necessary for the finance minister to present new proposals. We're taking every possible effort to regain the GSP Plus facility to overcome this heavy debt burden, he said.
Now, UN Special Rapporteur on Minority Issues Rita Izak-Nadia says the process of truth-seeking, reconciliation and curing will take some time. She added that it cannot be fulfilled in one night. She also lauded the positive measures taken by the government to listen to the waves of the people and civil society activists in the present reconstruction process. UN Special Rapporteur on Minority Issues Rita Izak-Nadia was speaking at a media conference in Colombo today. She has exchanged waves with minority groups during her 10-day tour of Sri Lanka.
The current administration must be commended for taking progressive steps in relation to the inclusion of the voices of the general public, including civil society representatives and ordinary citizens, into the ongoing reform processes. Both the Public Representations Committee on Constitutional Reform and the Consultation Task Force on Reconciliation Mechanisms have reached out to and listened to thousands of people through oral and written submissions. This has given a glimpse of hope to the society as a whole that their views and aspirations will be considered and taken on board. It must also be mentioned that the PRC, the CATF and the National Human Rights Commission has drawn staff from diverse ethnic and religious groups, including women, which should serve as a good practice for other offices. Truth-seeking, reconciliation and healing takes time and cannot be done overnight. However, at the same time, in order not to lose the momentum gained by the new administration in 2015, the government must put in place some urgent, important and concrete measures to clearly demonstrate its political will and commitment to better protect Sri Lanka's minorities. This includes continued return of land to their owners, charging or releasing all security-related detainees, making progress in finding disappeared persons, and taking visible steps to gradually transfer military powers to civilian authorities.
The Colombo Fourth Magistrate today ordered to issue Interpol red notice against former Sri Lankan ambassador in Russia, Udanga Weeratunga. This order was issued following a complaint made to the Financial Crimes Division on financial misappropriation in purchasing MiG jets for Sri Lanka Air Force during the period of 2000 to 2006. Sleuths of the Financial Crimes Investigation Division filing a motion has urged the judiciary to grant them permission to record a statement from Udanga Weeratunga. The court directed the authorities to inform the Ukrainian government through the Sri Lankan Foreign Ministry to convey this matter to the Ukraine address of Mr. Weeratunga. When the case was taken up for hearing on the 26th of last month, the Foreign Ministry has informed the court that Mr. Weeratunga was not residing at the Ukrainian address. Sleuths of the FCID had informed the court that Udanga Weeratunga is engaged in political activities from overseas as he is receiving the support of a group of Sri Lankan politicians. When the case was taken up for hearing again on the 30th of last month, the court noted that it cannot issue a notice to Interpol to record a statement as Mr. Weeratunga is not a suspect in the case. However, when the FCID has made a request again by filing a motion, then the Fourth Magistrate directed to the issue the Interpol red notice.
Now, Finance Minister Ravi Karnanayaka presented the 2017 appropriation bill containing the government's expenditure in Parliament today. Specialty of the 2017 budget was the reduction in the government's recurrent expenditure compared to 2016 financial year.
Finance Minister Ravi Karnanayaka said that he is presenting the appropriation bill. Speaker Karu Jayasuriya has asked as to whether the Cabinet of Ministers has given the approval to the bill. Minister Ravi Karnanayaka said that the Cabinet has approved the bill and the second reading will take place tomorrow. The government's total expenditure in 2017 is 1.92 trillion rupees compared to the 1.94 trillion rupees in 2016. The highest allocation of 284.04 billion rupees has been allocated for the Defence Ministry from the next year's budget. The allocation for the Health Ministry is 160.97 billion rupees. A sum of 163.4 billion rupees has been allocated for the Education Ministry and 76.94 billion rupees for Higher Education and Highways Ministry. The allocation for the provincial councils and local government ministry is 214.12 billion rupees and public administration and management ministry 165.2 billion rupees. A sum of 6.45 billion rupees has been allocated for the president's vote for the year 2017 and 1.25 billion rupees for the prime minister. According to the 2017 appropriation bill, the total expenditure for next year is 1.92 trillion rupees. 2017 budget proposals to bridge the expenditure will be presented in Parliament by Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake on the 10th of November. The committee stage budget debate or the second reading will take place for a period of 1 month and the voting on the third reading will be held on the 10th of December.
In the meantime, the 2017 appropriation bill was presented in Parliament today. In the meantime, a program seeking public views at provincial level on the preparation of the budget was implemented during the past few months with the participation of university professors and lecturers. This Road to the Budget 2017 program was carried out under the full supervision of the Finance Ministry. A meeting to seek public views was held at Rajagiri Divisional Secretariat in Colombo district recently. Sri Jawadanapura University lecturers spearheaded the program and the manner in which the 2017 budget should be prepared, and proposals on solutions to socio-environmental and humanitarian problems were also analysed at the occasion. The aim of the government is to seek public views on government policies and work in close collaboration with the people, and high priority was given to public views in preparing the 2017 budget. Several university lecturers explained the importance of public participation. Dr. U. Anurukumar of Sri Jawadanapura University noted that no one has any concern on the budget at present. Under this setup, no one is caring about the government today. Therefore, the present administration has decided to present a people's budget giving priority to public views. Therefore, people's cooperation is essential towards this end, and he called upon the public to present their views as it is now open for the public.
In the meantime, Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake pledges to present 2017 budget, ensuring the country's rapid forward journey. He told a media conference at Siriko, the UNP headquarters in Sri Jawadanapura Kotte this morning, that this budget was prepared with the consultation, compromise and consensus of two main ruling parties. Minister Ravi Karunanayake further noted that the 2017 budget will be presented with the aim of moving the country towards rapid development path. A program of creating employment through development will be included for the benefit of community life. The 2017 budget will be presented in Parliament on the 10th of November. It was prepared with the consensus of UNP and SLFP along with the President and the Prime Minister. The foundation of unity of the two parties will be further strengthened by the 2017 budget.
එකතු වෙලා පක්ෂ දෙකේ සියලු දෙනාමත් සම්මුතියකට ඇවිල්ලා තමයි අපි අයවැයක් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නේ. මම මේක කියන්නේ නැත්තම් මාධ්‍යවල නොඑක් ඒවා යන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. මේක එක කොටසකින් එකක් පරස්පරයක් තියෙනවද නැද්ද කියලා ඒ එකමුතුභාවය ඒ ශක්තිමත් තුනෙන් දෙකේ පදනම ස්ථීර කරන්න තමයි අපි 2017 අයවැය ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නේ.
He added that the international donor agencies have appreciated the country's financial discipline. Minister Ravi Karunanayake said that if the country is able to maintain the financial discipline, then we can get the support from international agencies. This was indicated during discussions with the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank recently. He asked as to what was the outcome of financial management during the handling of Treasury by P.B. Jayasundara under the direction of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The country's debt has been increased by 5 times during their regime from 1,784 million rupees. The revenue has dropped to 10.8% from 20%. Development activities are being carried out in a balanced manner, and the 2017 budget paves the way towards rapid development path.
The Cuban ambassador in Sri Lanka, Florentino Batista, called on the Parliamentary Reforms and Mass Media Minister Ganta Karunatilake at the Chief Government Whip's office in Parliament this morning. The Cuban ambassador is to leave the country soon after ending the term of office, and Minister Ganta Karunatilake has lauded the services rendered to Sri Lanka by the Cuban ambassador on behalf of his government. Mementos were exchanged at the occasion.
Now let's have a look around Asia in 1 minute.
North Korea has conducted an unsuccessful launch of an intermediate-range missile according to the South Korean military. 2 police officers are injured following a knife attack that is suspected to have been carried out by an Islamic State supporter in Indonesia. Chinese President Xi Jinping holds a welcome ceremony for the Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte in Beijing as the two countries agree to boost diplomatic ties. 2 giant pandas will be released into the wild today after 3 years wilderness survival training. Korean Cinema Festival kicked off in Uzbekistan on October 17th. It was organized by the Embassy of Republic of Korea in Uzbekistan within the Korean Festival 2016.
Welcome back, and we continue with more local stories. Power and Renewable Energy Ministry today introduced a new rate system for the charging of electric vehicles while launching an electronic card for this purpose at Kalnitissa power plant premises today. Electric charging centre was established at Kalnitissa power plant premises. The electronic card issued by the Ceylon Electricity Board could be used to make payments for the charging of electric vehicles. Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiak disclosed that electric vehicle charging centres will be established in several places countrywide by the Ceylon Electricity Board for the benefit of such vehicle owners. Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiak said that an opportunity was given for electric car owners to charge their vehicles at this centre by making payments from the electronic card. A reasonable pricing system has been introduced. Measures will be taken to set up 6 electric vehicle charging centres in Valipena, Mavanalla and Kandy areas.
In the meantime, a ceremony to commemorate the 132nd birth anniversary of Sri Lanka's first Prime Minister, the Honourable D.S. Senanayake, was held today. The late Prime Minister Senanayake, who was hailed as a father of the nation, has rendered a significant service in gaining independence for Sri Lanka. Mr. D.S. Senanayake was born in a village called Bothale in Udagaha of Hapetigama Korle on the 20th of October 1884. He was elected uncontested to the Constitutional Council formed in 1931, and he was appointed as the Minister of Agriculture at that time. He rendered a great service for the revival of the agriculture industry, and later in 1943, he resigned from the Sri Lanka Jatika Sangame to form the United National Party in 1946. He was elected as the first Prime Minister of Sri Lanka following the general election held in 1947. He has made a great commitment as a Prime Minister to gain independence for the island nation, and in 1948 he rendered a great service towards uplifting the nation since independence. The enacting of land bills, the setting up of farmer settlements, the launching of the construction work of Senanayake Samudra and making Anuradhapura a new town were among his major achievements during his premiership. The Independence Square was built during his regime, and the late Prime Minister, Right Honourable D.S. Senanayake, passed away on the 22nd of March 1952. An almsgiving and Dhamma sermon were conducted at Bothale Set Savana Elders' Home in Mirigama in commemoration of the late Prime Minister D.S. Senanayake's 132nd birth anniversary today. Mr. Rukman Senanayake and Senanayake family members were among the large gathering attending the religious ceremony organized to invoke merit on the late leader.
Now in our stock update, the all shares price index closed 6,442.36 points, increased by 2.03 points, and the S&P SL20 index closed at 3,593.17 points, also increased by 3.88 points at the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 365 million rupees. Welcome back. Now in foreign news, Republican Donald Trump has refused to commit to accepting the election result if he loses in the final TV debate against Hillary Clinton. "I will tell you at the time," he told moderator Chris Wallace. For days, he has claimed the election is rigged. The Las Vegas debate continued the campaign's bitter tone, with Trump calling Mrs. Clinton a nasty woman. Polls show Trump is losing in key battleground states after facing a slew of sexual assault allegations. The final battle of wits came less than 3 weeks before Election Day on 8 November. The candidates declined to shake hands before and after the political sparring, setting the tone for another debate marked by shouting and interrupting. Mr. Trump appealed to the Republican establishment by vowing to appoint Supreme Court justices with a conservative bent who would overturn a key ruling that made abortion legal in the U.S. and protect gun rights. He also stuck to his pledge to deport undocumented immigrants and secure U.S. borders. Meanwhile, Clinton firmly declared she would stand up for the LGBT community, defend abortion rights, focus on restoring the middle class, and equal pay for women. In one of the most striking moments, Trump twice declined to say whether he would accept the election's outcome, breaking with the country's long-standing tradition of a losing candidate's concession after the votes are counted. Trump's response drew sharp criticism from Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, who said the candidate was doing the party and country a great disservice by continuing to suggest the outcome of the election is out of his hands and rigged against him, according to a statement.
All right, time to take a look at some international stories in brief. Kurdish fighters say they have launched a large-scale operation east and north of Mosul, an offensive to our so-called Islamic State militants from Iraqi city counties. And the Kurds say the operation aims to tighten the noose around the militants' last major stronghold in Iraq. At least 4 people have been killed in the Philippines as Super Typhoon Haima hit the country, and the storm, which brought sustained winds of up to 225 kilometers per hour, made landfall over Cagayan in north yesterday, and nearly 100,000 people were evacuated from threatened areas as the storm approached. There are growing fears of a European probe that attempted to land on Mars yesterday has been lost. Tracking of the Schiaparelli robot's radio signal was dropped less than a minute before it was expected to touch down on the red planet's surface, and satellites at Mars have attempted to shed light on the probe's status, so far without success. Thousands of people in Argentina have walked out of work for an hour in protest over the horrific rape and murder of a teenage girl. Lucia Perez was 16 and was drugged and raped before being killed in the city of Mar del Plata. 2 men who left her at a hospital said she overdosed on drugs, but doctors found evidence she had been subject to extreme sexual violence. Activists urged women to wear black and join street marches. Mexican clowns yesterday condemned hysteria stemming from a recent spate of creepy clowns sighting in the run-up to Halloween at the end of this month. In the United States, Canada, Europe, and lately Mexico. They did so in Mexico's capital as hundreds of clowns marched merrily around the city to mark the 21st Annual International Clown Convention. There are some 10,000 professional clowns registered in Mexico. Daisy Ridley has attended the Los Angeles premiere of The Eagle Huntress, a documentary that she has narrated, and The Eagle Huntress follows a Soflan, a 13-year-old girl, as she trains to become the first female in 12 generations of her Kazakh family to become an eagle hunter. The film is directed by Otto Bell, and The Eagle Huntress, which has already been well received at the Sundance Film Festival this year, opens in theaters on limited release on the 2nd of November 2016. In a quick sports update for tonight, Sri Lanka A with 211 runs, the loss of 5 wickets in their second innings at close of play on the third day of the third unofficial test against West Indies A at Rangiri W International Stadium today. Sri Lanka A scored 318 runs in their first innings. In reply, West Indies A were bowled out for 234. Shimron Hetmer top scored with 94 runs. Shamir Brooks made 54 and Lakshan Sandakant took 3 for 54, whilst Kasan Madhushankar claimed 3 for 45. Ladu Gamge took 2 for 50. Southern Virakwadi made 48 for Sri Lanka in their second innings, whilst Asela Gunaratne chipped in with 69. Kusal Pereira scored 20 runs and Roshan Silvas is not out on 29 and Dasan Shanika not out on 7.
Now, the Met Department says that intertropical convergence zone is affecting the weather over the island. Hence, showery weather with lighting activity can be expected, especially during the afternoon and night. Showers or thunder showers will occur at most parts of the island after 2 p.m. Showers will occur in Western Province and in the Jaffna, Mana, Puttalam and Galle districts in the morning too. Fairly heavy falls are also likely at some places, particularly in the northern, north central and eastern provinces. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in western, Sabaragamuwa, central and southern provinces during the morning. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lighting activity.
Well, with that we wind up Rupavahini news to tonight. We have more stories coming for you tomorrow at the same time. Until then, good night.